yeah, I'm pretty sure I challenged you at some point.
Oh, I need to inverse challenge you that because it's a really broken multiplayer system.
Oh, is it?
So you
Where
can't
do I
just go
find-
around spamming people, which is like fair enough.
Where do I? Oh, my one's right there. Okay, let's go.
Whoa! This is why we switched. Fancy mouse setup. Aha. Select. I'll select that one. Oh no, wait, I didn't click anything. I'm a genius. Yes, I allegedly challenged you. I don't know. We'll find out. If you challenge me back, it might work. I can't remember how this works.
I mean, I'm currently challenging you, and then.
Well, I'm challenging you. Oh god.
For God's sake.
This D&D podcast has turned into how do we get magic to work.
Right, I'll play Magic the Gathering with the cards I have here.
Oh god, we're such nerds.
It's like I attack me for 4 damage with my card.
I
We
played
have done
4-person
that
magic
before.
once. That was fun. 4-person magic was good fun.
Okay, my magic is straight up frozen. I'm just restarting it. Oh, 4-person magic is fun.
Cancel. Yeah, okay. I will cancel this and then re-challenge you and we'll see if that works. Oh, why didn't we cancel it? Oh god.
Yeah, that's what it did for me. I had to just destroy it or close it.
I can't destroy it. I can destroy it actually. I just set the catch to like a blank window or some shit. Anyway, we were originally here not to bitch about how Magic the Gathering Arena's multiplayer system is slightly broken, but to talk about one of our favourite games. I might go as far as to say my favourite game.
Ooh, bold claim.
Bold claims there, I know.
Such a good game. So good.
Before we do that, how is everyone? Everyone doing okay?
Yeah, I'm alright. I finished my tea and I'm now drinking water, which is less interesting, but still.
That's a pretty good way to describe water. Less interesting.
Well, yeah, water is less interesting than tea. I don't think that's controversial to say.
Never before have I been so mad at something that is so true. But I like water. Water is the best. Hydrate or dihydrate.
I mean, yeah, I agree. Water is good, but tea is kind of water with just more stuff, and more stuff is always better.
The man raises a good point.
Ooh. I mean, yeah, I am a fond believer of quantity over quality. I don't care how good your cake is. I want either one.
Oh, it worked that time. Wonderful. Hey, we got this working. I got something working. You doing okay, Otis?
What's that, sorry?
I said, are you doing okay?
Yeah, I maybe. I don't know. Am I?
That's a vibe. I feel that. Are you doing okay? Well, I can't say no, so I'll say I don't know and hope I get away with it.
I'm back in Bournemouth now, so
Oh.
yeah,
Exciting.
Oh, you came back.
yeah. I'm back. I'm back in the place.
The place.
Yes.
Upon the heath.
I got a good. When I got back yesterday, I got a takeaway from the Great Bag of Holding. Use code free dice please to get free.
For record, we're not sponsored by Bag of Holding. Our uni society is sponsored by the Bag of Holding, not this podcast. I feel I should jump in on that, otherwise I could actually get in trouble.
I mean, Otis is just a true corporate shill.
To be fair, I got some really weird dice. I got a D20 with letters on.
Oh my
and
god.
I got a D6, but an orange D6, but only there was a 2 and no other faces. All of the others were blank.
Yeah, that's weird.
What game would that even be used for?
Yeah, I got no clue. Like, yeah, I legit have no clue.
I mean, same here. That's why I asked it.
I don't know.
Like,
There's some weird TTRPGs out there.
Yeah, there is. Like, what is it? Yesterday, I had my first session of the Deathwatch game I'm running, and that game uses entirely D100s.
Oh boy.
Which,
Ooh.
yeah, is spicy and confusing as hell.
I mean, it's the D100s makes a slight more sense because they're like, you know, percentage or something. Plays with
Yeah.
percentages, but
Yeah, I think that is how it's supposed to be. Is like because it's I don't know. It's weird. You have a stat that is between 1 and 100, and you roll a D100, and you need to try and roll below that number, which
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. We spent like a good hour trying to figure out how to do like opposed checks and stuff because it is not an easy system.
You'll get it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It'll be fun either way.
We're
Yeah, we'll figure it
TTRPG nerds. If when in doubt, roll dice and say it worked. Or didn't work, depending on what fits the narrative.
Oh, by the way, a future topic for this podcast. I got into a semi-discussion with my housemate about the idea of natural ones.
I mean,
Like,
they
should
exist. There's a 1 in
but as
20
in, like,
chance.
But the things like, should they be critical failures / auto fails, or should they be? I'm a DM. I don't want to get too much of the topic, but like I'm a DM who even on skill checks I apply natural 20s and natural 1s.
Oh, I don't. I only do on attack rolls.
No, I apply them to everything.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not super harsh where it's like, hey, you rolled a nat 1 on like, what is it? You rolled a nat 1 on your acrobatics, you fall down a hole and instantly die.
Yeah,
But-
but it's
Yeah.
like the easiest example I have is like a rogue trying to stealth his way around, even if he has like plus 50 billion, as they always do. There's always a chance he like slips or accidentally steps on a twig, or something appears he wasn't expecting.
True.
Yeah, no, I like it.
True. I get that approach, but I'm also like, hey, I don't want to like. Sometimes it's I don't know. Sometimes it's no fun. Sometimes I feel it can detract from. It depends on the tone of the game, really.
Yeah, I do understand the whole like, oh, this is my level 20 master assassin. Like they are literally
Foiled
the
by a twig.
greatest. Oh, what?
Foiled by a twig.
Yeah, like yeah, you are the world's greatest assassin, but because you just have a 5% chance you stumble over and trip. You know.
Or with your rogue, you've got your reliable talent. What do you do with natural ones on reliable talent?
So as a DM, if I allow the reliable talent, but as a player, I won't say anything. If I get that natural 1 and it's reliable talent, I'll still say it's a natural 1. I don't care.
That's fair.
I mean, for me as a DM, I only really put reliable on if it's a 2 or up, because it does feel a bit. It feels a bit too strong to just completely negate. What is it?
The chance of failure.
Yeah, like to just completely negate that chance of failure, and always get this minimum of like a 20. Because if you're a rogue, chances are you've probably got expertise in stealth.
Oh, the minimum. There was a famous tweet. There was a tweet I saw by the wonderful Liam O'Brien. Someone commented on him having disadvantage on Vax'ildan having disadvantage because it was Bisexual Awareness Day. And he went, "Oh no, I may have to settle for a 24." People were like, "He rolled that." It's like, no, that's just the absolute minimum Vax can get.
Yeah.
Your level 19 rogue can get a 24 is the absolute minimum.
Oh yeah, like rogues, just because of expertise and other stuff, they are just it's so easy for them to get high numbers consistently, non-stop.
Rogues are good at what they're good at.
Disgusting sometimes.
Yes, it is. It is downright disgusting how good they are.
Player in my game one-shotting a fucking Yeti. For context, they were level 2.
God.
Oh no! This is why I like natural 1s to be a thing.
They rolled a natural 20.
Like
Yeah,
I
that-
said.
So what is it? Natural 20, and then what is it? They double their sneak attack dice and their
Yeah.
thingy
I
dice.
do the living dangerously crit rule where you take flat max damage then roll again, which is great when
Ooh.
they roll an at 20. They don't like it when I roll an at 20 though. When I
Yeah,
roll an
that-
at 20,
that's-
someone goes down.
That's the one issue I have with that rule is it's really harsh on like players because it just especially like take your level 1 wizard. It's like if a goblin rolls a nat 20, like you're the basic goblin rolls a nat 20, it can deal enough damage to do the full wizard's HP and then like twice over for the insta kill. Which is, that's a bit shitty that your level 1 wizard just immediately dies in first session in.
I mean, I leave it up to players' choice. I asked them if they wanted to do that kind of critical damage, but they're like, no, we just like rolling more dice. So I'm like,
That's
yeah,
fair.
cool, that's fine.
More dice.
Give me all the dice.
Yeah. My more dice is always fun.
Hmm. That was a very good podcast episode, boys.
Anyway, on that note,
Is that how this works? As soon as we like finish up a single topic, that's the podcast done.
That's it, like 5-10 minutes. That wasn't what this was initially meant to be today. Initially, we were meant to talk about how we got into D&D and our first D&D characters, but we can keep talking about how broken rogues are if we want to.
God,
no, this has got to be our first one.
The first one's just an hour of complaining that we hate rogues.
I don't hate rogues, I love them. You can tell this isn't scripted.
No, we need to have an episode, a dedicated episode each, a dedicated episode to why we hate insert name of class here. But just for all of them, we go through the list.
Oh my god, when we get to the druid episode, I'm just gonna rant for an hour about how
Druids
much
are
I hate
great.
wild shape. No, I hate druids.
I dreamt I was a druid last night, it was really nice.
I dreamt. Okay, no, that's off topic of what the fuck I was.
It's a furry. That sounds like furries to me.
Goddamn furries.
I mean, do we actually
Anyway.
want to try? Should we?
Do you want to
Oh,
try
are
the
we-
initial topic?
should we try? To be honest, I wasn't fully sure if we'd like actually started or something, or if this was just.
I think we've started. We've been recording for Check's Audacity 15 minutes.
Oh, mine's 13 minutes.
Yeah, well, I rounded up.
Whatever. Yeah, but still, we've been talking for like 10 minutes about how much we hate rogues, among other things, but mainly rogues.
All right then, Mr. Host, do you want to?
Oh god, am I the host? Is this my role now? Does this mean I've
I
got to
think
stay
so.
calm and not panic?
I mean, this is your idea. This is your channel.
Hey, don't go pushing blame around like that, saying this is my idea.
It literally was. Who asked who about this podcast?
Alright, there's no need to point fingers.
I will point fingers for this fire of whatever we're
That's fair.
doing.
I have had 2 very terrible draws on my magic deck.
I
yeah.
mean, if you
Does this
see
mean
my
I'm
hand-
meant to start, seeing as I'm the host?
Well,
That's normally what it is, especially like the very first episode.
Oh, God.
but-
Well, hi. I'm Ben. Or Benjamin to some people. Normally only when I've done something really bad.
Hi Ben.
yeah.
Hi,
Hello,
Otis.
Ben. I have known you for like 6 months now, or something like that.
Yeah, you've known me for a little bit. We are all part of our uni's TTRPG roleplay society and LARPing society because we're nerds.
Speak for yourself, nerd.
Yup. This is the sort of group humor we have.
Yeah, just me usually being a terrible person,
Nah, you're great.
and then everybody's terrible to me in return. It's great.
So
Do you want to kind of like plan out what you're gonna say first, Ben?
no, I was gonna fly.
Intro?
My plan was to push someone else in the muck first, then sort of copy them. But I can
mean,
sort of.
basically,
when
you
did
just
I
want
first- so I'd
short
heard
and
about.
snappy.
How long had I heard about it? So I'd heard about D&D for a few years, right? And I knew there was this game called D&D, and I thought that sounds broken as shit and doesn't sound like it'll work because video games work and you've got to follow the rules. How the fuck is it going to work if you can just do anything? There's no restrictions. sounds weird. I didn't know that a DM was a thing at the time. I just knew it was a game that involved dice, killing things, some paper, and dragons. And dungeons.
Yeah.
Ow.
What? And then how did you go
Well,
about
I'd heard
finding
about
your
it.
first?
Then what did we do? I used to be a big Rooster Teeth fan.
Right.
I'm not as much anymore. But I found they had a show called Heroes and Halfwits, which
Okay,
was in essence a D&D podcast around a table. Basically, they tried to copy Critical Role.
So that's surprising because what was it? I've always known you as like a big Critical Role fan. So
Yes.
I always assumed that was your first
No,
introduction.
I initially didn't watch Critical Role because I thought it was too snobby.
Oof.
Like, fully
Ooh.
other, like, I
Oof.
thought, that's for those proper D&D nerds. I'm not one of those. I'm gonna stick
not
to
like
my
other
independent.
D&D players.
I'm gonna stick to, like, because I watched that. I watched it in its entirety. I loved it. Now I realise it was a bit janky and a bit broken, but hey, it worked. Then someone introduced me when I started sixth form. Someone introduced me to High Rollers, which I watched. I watched like the first campaign from like spring till the summer term. Then that summer I went away to Sweden on holiday and just downloaded all the podcasts and listened to them while I was away. So I listened to High Rollers. Then I finished High Rollers in like last September. No, not last September. The September before I finished High Rollers. I spent a week moping around because I had nothing to listen to. Then I thought, I'll give this Critical Role thing a try. I think what is it? It's like 1,300 hours later.
Wow, you went for the
I've
full
listened to every episode.
Yeah, didn't you say you? I can't remember. This is me just remembering with my incredibly bad memory. But I think you said you finished it in like 6 months or something, or at least caught up.
Yes, I caught up and watched the entirety of High Rollers and Critical Role in a year.
Yeah, God.
I don't watch stuff. I just listen to podcasts. But in between that, it was when I started at A level. I started doing maths. I started with maths. I didn't finish. I never ended it. I quit because I wasn't very good at it. But I started doing maths at A level, and we had like an introduction day just for maths. And we had actually an introduction like weekend, and I spent most of that time sat in the corner by myself until someone started speaking to me, and I noticed after speaking to the person like 10 or 15 minutes, they had a Dungeons and Dragons logo on one of their folders.
Oh.
This is how I found the people that were my D&D group for like 2 or 3 years. Because someone had a D&D logo on their folder. Because they played in a game that they'd gotten into. They were the people who introduced me to High Rollers later on and stuff like that. So my first ever experience, because I couldn't find a game to join because they already had a game going and didn't want me to join it. My first ever experience was GMing a one-shot at someone's house in like a lounge next to a tortoise cage. I GM'd a one-shot, and I thought I was being very innovative, having the villain capture them at the beginning, take all their stuff, and then teleport away and make them fight through caves of goblins. I realise now that's quite cliche. My only exposure to D&D was one D&D podcast.
Right.
I had no clue what I was doing. Like, if you can really play before you GM.
Yes, that is incredibly
And
important.
don't play with someone who it's their first time GMing when it's your first time playing, because it doesn't go well.
Yeah, no,
One of
Like
my
G-
yeah, it was jank. Like, one of my players genuinely believed whenever a bard rolled a natural 20, they just had a child.
What? What?
They genuinely. This is a player who discovered D&D through the memes. So they
Right.
genuinely believed whenever a bard rolled, like, I'm not insulting this person, like, they're a lovely person, but they genuinely believed at the start, and their style of D&D is still rather memey and not very serious. It's not my style of D&D, but hey, there are different ways to play D&D. They genuinely believed, like, if a bard rolled a natural 20, on an athletics check moving a rock, they'd just have a child with the rock.
What?
Okay.
That is.
I kid you not.
No, I believe you. God damn. Fair enough. Okay.
On that bombshell.
Yeah, and then I started playing. I GM'd a little bit. I played in a few one-shots that people had run. Then I got invited to play in someone's campaign, which lasted, after I joined, lasted 2 sessions.
Right.
Yeah, so that didn't go well. That was other stuff,
Yeah.
like one of the players went a bit haywire and burned a bunch of goblins, and just one of the main characters ended up in prison on another plane of existence. And the GM was like, "What do I do? I don't know what to do.
Huh.
You were my favorite player. He was one of those GMs, and you've all my motivation is now gone because you're in prison."
Rip.
It wasn't me who was in prison, I would like to clarify. It was another player. I came in with a very nice Artificer Warlock multi-class, and this fighter decided they were fed up, and in a moment of madness, just torched a bunch of goblins in the middle of Ravnica.
Oh.
So it wasn't even like they were evil goblins.
No, just like innocence. It's not like you went to a goblin cave and did some war crimey thing.
No, I probably should have mentioned that before. These goblins were genuine members of society.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That changes it.
These goblins were genuine members of society, and they got burnt alive by a blood hunter with burning hands.
Fair enough. That's. Yeah. No. Wow.
Yeah,
So-
I had a campaign as well. I GM'd a campaign that lasted a while. It lasted a few
Yeah.
sessions, but we don't record that anymore because that broke down. But that went okay. Oh, actually, do you know what I did forget before I passed it to someone else? That was when I first got to play D&D, right, with these people from Sixth Form. Back when I was in year 11. Oh, Tal's here. Hello, Tal. There were a group of us who were like Rooster Teeth fans. Some of us had watched Heroes and Halfwit. Some of us had heard of this D&D. And there's someone who I still know and is actually in this other friend group. Their dad played D&D. They had their stepdad, sorry. They had this really traditional nerdy American stepdad. And he was like, "Sure, I'll run you a game." So we had a session 0. Well, we talked about character ideas, talked about D&D. He showed us like a 3.5 edition like player's handbook. We nerded out about that for ages. We had a session 0 and people talked about what they wanted to play, but it never took off. We actually bumped into D&D Beyond at that point. We found like D&D Beyond on the web and thought it was this great new thing. I now don't recommend D&D Beyond to anyone. It's quite restrictive, but like that was our first ones. We had a session 0. And going into first characters, my first character was I was going to be an arcane trickster rogue called Mana no Mano. Because I thought it sounded funny.
Fair enough.
Jesus Christ, Nathan.
I just realised I probably could have insta-killed you there, but...
Yeah.
I saw that was a lot of triggers right there.
Yeah, I never got to play 3.5. I've played 5th edition, and I've played a game in 4th edition. Don't play 4th edition. This is a public service announcement.
I have heard nothing about horror stories of 4th, and I am like traumatized of the idea of it.
Yeah. This is a public service announcement. Do not, whatever you do, play 4th edition.
I've heard some stuff about it.
Well, you're wrong. I'm joking.
Give it a go.
Yeah, give it a go, by all means, but it was incredibly complicated. It probably didn't help that the GM, it was a one-shot organised through a public Discord server. Like, someone had an event for different TTRPGs, and I went, sure, I'll try 4th edition. The GM, at the time, the GM for that didn't want to use voice chat. So we played D&D 4th edition over text. I'm sure there were plenty of very valid reasons why the GM didn't want to do it, and I'm not mad at the GM, but it was a
Yeah. No, that like what was it? So it was a one shot, and was this your first time playing fourth?
My first time playing 4th edition, yeah. Never played 4th
Yeah,
edition before. I played a Storm Sorcerer.
Okay.
Nice.
I have no idea what that is because
I don't know, I just hit
fourth.
people. I realised afterwards I think I only hit people with cantrips and never actually cast a spell. But it was not very well explained and I had no clue what was going on.
Yeah, no, that's. I feel like what is it like? Yeah, you can play games or TTRPGs without voice and like just over text, like perfectly fine. But if it's your first ever time giving it a go, like that just feels like it's too many sort of hurdles of entry because you trying to understand a system you've never played before with without your GM just being able to like quickly like pitch things
Yeah.
simply like that.
To be fair, the guy came up. I assume it was a guy. The person came up with like some great puzzles. Like they had a really nice dungeon mind. They came, like I said, they came with some really nice puzzles. It all worked really well, but they just the major letdown was we couldn't communicate.
Yeah, like
That's fair.
yeah, no, that's understandable.
Someone else go now. I've talked for long enough. I've been thrashed again by a red deck. Fucking red deck.
Deck wins.
Red decks are
I
great.
need a good draw. I need a good draw for this deck, but if I get a good draw, you're fucked.
I love a good fourth
Oh
edition.
crap! I didn't click on the bat one. But alright, I'll go next. So I was first introduced to D&D in.
Who are you, Nathan?
Huh?
You haven't introduced yourself. Who are you?
Oh, my name is Nathan. I'm some drunken idiot that for some reason gets invited to talk to people.
I thought you were gonna make it like a sonnet, not a sonnet, a haiku.
Do I look smart enough to make a haiku on the spot?
I don't know. I can't see your face right now. Oh shit! No, wait. I just started a public game. Fuck. Cancel.
You do that.
I mean, what's your profile picture is. No. Your profile picture doesn't have a nose.
My
Hey,
profile-
that is the face of intelligence, right?
This is not the face of intelligence. This is the face of opposite of intelligence. Right. So I was first introduced to D&D in year 9 or 10. When I first heard about it from a YouTube series called Thrilling Intent, which was it was like an online one that they played over Roll20, but they kind of cut out a lot of the content and the dice rolls and stuff, and it was all very much role play and conversation. It was paced a bit more like a sort of a TV show would be, instead of like a D&D game. And I thought it was insanely cool because, like, oh, you get to be these incredibly interesting characters. You can make up your own sort of world in combination with while working with your DM, and that was very much the sort of appeal. So I started sort of looking, and I mean, being a person in year 9 or 10, I think it was year 10. Nobody was really interested because all of my friend group were like the I don't know, the very chavvy is what I'll say, because like we drinked and some of them smoked even though it wasn't legal. So naturally, the appeal of like pretending to be fantasy races as we fight dragons and shit didn't really appeal to them. Oh wait, I'm so dumb. Right, yeah, so
Sorry, I just noticed what you did.
yeah, I wasn't looking. I thought that was a creature, not.
Pacified your own. Oops.
But you see, that's for pro play right there, because what he's going to do, he's going to give control of it to you, and now you have a useless creature. No, oh, sorry, no, I get it. He's expecting you to play a card which forces all of his creatures to attack, and now, because it can't attack, he'll be around.
I don't know what would happen in that case. I've never had that happen.
No, neither. I have no clue what. but either way, this is not looking good for me. But right, okay, so yeah, and yeah, none of my friends were really interested, and then this changed around year 11-ish, as sort of GCSE exams were coming up, and we.
For anyone watching who doesn't know what that is, how old is that? I realise I didn't say that either.
Year 11 would be what?
15 and 16.
15, 16,
Wonderful.
right?
I'm glad you know, because I don't.
It took brain rattling.
If you go if you don't skip any years or repeat any of them, or skip ahead, it's basically your age plus 5 years.
That is a
Sorry,
smart.
your
way.
age take away 5 years.
I had never thought of doing that before.
No, that is incredibly smart.
Ah.
This is why he's the president and we're not.
Yeah, this is why he has responsibility.
Please, no, take it away.
But right, yeah, so that changed around year 11 when one of my friends was interested in it, and so was I. So we just so happened to strike up a conversation about it and sort of started planning. And the plan was, bear in mind this was my first ever time of D&D, I would DM, which, yes, again, play before you DM.
Yep. See, that's the thing, the people who are really, really interested in it GM first have a shit experience.
Yeah.
Not that GMing is fun, right? Like, I don't want to, slight tangent, don't want to put people to GM. GMing is great, but GMing is even better when you know the system and don't do what I did and burn through about several campaign ideas trying to work out the sort of campaign you want to do. Like, don't try and homebrew firearms, use ones that some genius called Matthew Mercer has already homebrewed. Don't try and mix modern and fantasy, it doesn't go down too well. Don't let one of your players be a demon, because they will bully you into letting them do anything.
Oh yeah, no, that happened. One of my players was like, I want to be a demon from hell. And I was like, well, you couldn't really be a demon and be walking around, normal people. They kind of don't like that. So I gave him this shapeshift ability, because
to be fair, some demons and devils can do that.
Yeah, they can, but don't give that to a player, especially not the player I was with.
No.
Because, yeah, he ended up using it to just be a complete, twat. And
I have selected the wrong deck.
I have a whole rant about shapeshifters, but I'll save that for another time.
Moonbeam 'em, that's the solution.
What?
Moonbeam 'em.
Moondemon?
Moonbeam them.
Oh, moonbeam them. Okay.
I was trying there's a joke about moonpig.com in there, but
I was really confused by it. But okay, yeah, so naturally, the game started off okay with them meeting effectively in, prison. Because they had been, arrested by some evil government, evil fantasy government. And
totally
sent to,
not a cliche prison start.
Yeah, not cliche prison start. And they instigated a riot and, broke free. Yeah, and then, as fugitives went to the city and, started chilling there. However, the game went, it went okay. There was, the combat and stuff was quite fun and fine. It was when it came to, roleplay. And then the players had just incredibly awkward character types. We had a Dragonborn rogue who was, take a horny bard and then, step it up a step or two. And that was the horny rogue. We had a... what was it? We had a psychopath demon fighter who was the one who could shapeshift. So, he was a total murder hobo. Then we had... What was it? A bard who was pretty chill. They were the only player I didn't really have complaints about. Because they were quite cool. They were kind of just along for the ride. And then the last one was a tiefling warlock.
Oh boy.
Yeah, they were very,
Tiefling warlock. Never heard of that combination
before. No, not like I had a tiefling wizard in my first game that I GM and stuff like that, no. I think it is the most played character class combo in 5th edition.
Well, no, isn't Human Fighter and then Tiefling?
No, I
Warlock?
think I saw a stat somewhere. I think it's Tiefling Warlock. People are like, I want to be edgy, so they pick
Yeah.
Tiefling Warlock. It's either Tiefling Warlock or like Elven Rogue or something. The Elven Rogue's pretty high up there, but like Tiefling Warlock's pretty high up there because people are like, I want to be edgy and have horns and purple skin and cast spells and have a pact.
Yeah, no, that was what he wanted to be. He wanted to be like this super strong, like he kind of wanted to be the center of attention in a lot of situations. Because he was like trying to be, this big, I am a godly devil,
Oh god.
but you're only level 2, so shush.
Yeah. I think it depends on the group you have, because there are some groups, like if anyone's seen Outside Xboxes or Outside Extras, D&D podcast thing, they are all sort of on the same page that they are. This is not a serious game, right? We barely roll dice. They don't count spell slots or ammunition. They just have a laugh.
Yeah, no.
And I think it works fine and it's very enjoyable to watch. I don't know if I want to play it, but it works fine and it's very enjoyable to watch because they all know that's what they're there for. And that makes all the players happy.
Yeah, no, that was I feel like that was one of the main issues, was the fact everybody wanted something different, because some people wanted to like the really dumb, crazy roleplay shenanigans. Some wanted to be like uber powerful demons, and some just wanted to watch the world burn. And it resulted in this clusterfuck of everybody kind of competing with each other, which is just complete opposite of what you want from a D&D game, because it is a team game at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's those people who, some of them it's not their fault, but it's those people who think they can win D&D, or think they're against the DM, or the DMs who think they're against the players.
Yeah.
It's like, for me personally, it's never an enjoyable game when people there's out of character infighting in that sort of way.
Yeah, no, like...
It's like, I get it can be a confusing concept in the age of video games and stuff like that. Like, wait, you can't win? What am I here for then?
Yeah, no, it was incredibly clear that like they didn't really like that there was no reason for this group of people to be together.
Yeah,
like
that's that party dynamic.
Yeah, like they just really, they didn't get along. Like why would they stay together? Why wouldn't they just go off and go do their own stuff? Because that realistically, you're not gonna hang around with these people who have like complete opposite morals to you.
No, why would you?
No, but yeah, but because admittedly this was all of us our first times ever played.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
when I
probably should've
GM'd,
mentioned
someone had played in one campaign before that was brief, but it was their campaign that was that person's first time. So.
No, this was every single one of us' first time playing D&D.
Yeah, if you can get another public
Yeah.
service announcement, if you can get anyone experienced to like give you a hand oversee, do it.
Yeah, like D&D 5th edition is like very friendly for new players, but it's still not good for like going in blind, like without anybody there to like help clarify and
I don't
understand.
think any game is.
No, I don't think it
Like
can be.
I think just about the most complicated game I can work out with no instructions or prior knowledge is like Snakes and Ladders.
Yeah.
And
no,
that's because the
that's-
Snakes and Ladders board is fairly self-explanatory.
Yeah, like
But like,
and
yeah, there's a rule book, but no one, the first time they play, thinks they need to read the whole book.
I mean, yeah, like I had read a lot of the book, and I had like a PDF copy with me, but it was like, yeah, no, I can't remember 400 pages from the player's handbook, let alone then like the monsters manual and the DMG.
Yeah.
Like that is too much for one person who had learned about this cool thing, 2 weeks ago and started planning it.
Yeah, like I've been GMing for like 4 years now. I still regularly consult books.
Oh yeah, same. Like I understand the basics obviously now, so I understand spell slots, like bonus action, full action, all that other stuff. But it's still not like, yeah, I still need those books. Like if I tried running a 5th edition game and just didn't like have a book on me or somewhere in my reachable vicinity, that game would just become a dumpster fire immediately.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Like my books are either on hand or on a computer, or I Google it. But yeah, like it. There's no shame in it. You don't have to fucking know everything. You still see people like Matt Mercer on the stream, pulls out a book, checks through it.
Yeah, no, like it's unreasonable, and then especially if you start getting expansion books involved.
Yeah.
Which, admittedly, most people, like especially within the society, most people want to play with that expanded books because, chances are they've probably played the basic classes.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, no, that was my first ever campaign, and then the rest of
when
them
you
weren't...
say campaign, can I just ask how long did it last?
Like, I think it lasted about 6 sessions that were each like 6 hours long.
That is not bad.
No, like, well, I mean, again, I think it was because this was our first ever, campaign, so it was like none of us had anything to compare it to.
Oh yeah.
So I think all of us thought like, okay, this is not too bad. Like, but in retrospective, God, that was a clusterfuck and a nightmare. But yeah, and then after that, it was very on and off. Like, I would occasionally join games, but it became more with people. These weren't people I had known beforehand, because a lot of my friends weren't into D&D. It was people who like game stores and stuff like that. And I had some
I only went and started going into game stores just before the pandemic. I was like, wait, there are shops that are full of nerdy stuff and nerdy people. Why have I not found out about this before? I thought these only existed in TV shows as mythical concepts. They're real?
It's only something you see on The Big Bang or whatever.
Yeah.
They had been my source of like D&D for up until like, well, basically all throughout college. I would join campaigns, and none of them lasted beyond like 6 months, because these weren't like grand campaigns or anything, so it was very on and off, and it wasn't really like one grand campaign. But yeah, they all went relatively better, and that's where I got the majority of my D&D experience from those games, learning from people who had actually played it before. Because bear in mind, like, when I first played D&D, it was a clusterfuck, and I had no idea. I didn't even know about like all these expansion books, let alone that there were all these like books of like, I can't even remember, like Explorer's Guide to Wildemount, Xanathar's Guide to Everything. So we were only playing with Player's Handbook and D&G.
To be fair to stuff like the PHB though, I know some people can get real bitchy about D&D, and I have no doubt there will be some people who at some point watch this back and be real bitchy that I've tagged it. I don't think I've actually tagged it as D&D. I probably should, but like I'll tag this about D&D and we're not playing D&D. But like, credit where credit's due. The 3 core books, the Player's Handbook, the Monsters Manual, and the DMG, have enough to sustain a campaign. They have enough to sustain several campaigns. There is enough content there to play.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if someone turned around and told me we were playing in a game where I was to DM a game where I could only use the core 3 books, sure, I can't do some massive crazy stuff like I might like to, but I'd be pretty confident I could either run in or play or make a decent character that can be interesting.
Yeah, no, like, they are good and interesting, like, and they will easily last you a long time. It's just when, once you've done a lot of things, because like, I can't remember, doesn't PHB Rogue only have 2 subclasses or something?
Has 3. PHP
true.
Rogue has Assassin, Thief, and Arcane Trickster.
Right, yeah. So, say you are very big you're very big into rogues. It then becomes a lot, it becomes restrictive, but easily for your first couple, like for your first couple of campaigns, it easily lasts you a lot. It's only once you start becoming a real sort of veteran where you want to start looking towards those expansion books.
I'm a real veteran.
The thing is, from a player's point of view, though, the PHP is you can survive a really long time on just the player's handbook if you're just being a player. Like I still haven't played through every single class yet. I've been playing for like 4 or 5 years, and have still never played every single class. And surprise, surprise, the player's handbook has every single class with a few options for it. And I think you can easily make characters from it. It's just I wouldn't say it's a necessity to get any of the other books later on. It's just more you're willing to spend the money and you want to.
No, it's
and
certainly
you
not
want
a
to dive
necessity.
into it. Yeah. Absolutely. I'm definitely stand by the statement of like you can survive on the player's handbook just for player's handbook and the other 2 books if you're a DM for quite a while.
Yeah,
Right,
no, I
for
definitely agree with
a
that.
considerable few years.
Yeah, no, I do get that. It is. No, yeah, you easily can survive with one, and they do have a lot of content. I think it just depends on what kind of player you are, because what is it? Say if you're like me and you absolutely love fighter, like there are some incredibly interesting fighter options in the later books. Like I still think
Yeah.
Echo Knight is the most interesting fighter archetype out there.
I haven't had a chance to properly read it, but it looks very interesting from what you've like. We speak outside recording stuff. I know, right?
We are actually out of podcast friends, weirdly enough.
Yeah, like we talk outside of me making content. I don't only exist when I stream and make content.
Wait, you're telling me there's a world outside of Twitch?
I know, funnily enough, like it took me a while to find the key and like open the door, but yeah.
You were locked in your streamer room.
Let me out! I don't want to make any more content.
But even then, like you mentioning the other book, you mentioning the Echo Knights, which is from Explorer's Guide to Wildemount. If you didn't know that existed, I think the fighter gets champion and Eldritch Knight.
Yeah, and
what's
Battle Master.
the other one?
Yeah, Battlemaster.
Yeah, that's it.
Battle Master, that's it. Yeah, but it's like even then, that's like you'd have to be a player who's like really dying down to play fighter for like a good few years.
Have you met
before
Nathan?
Yeah, that,
Okay, true.
fighters are my one true love.
Fair.
Yeah. Yeah. Fight. I need to play more fight. I need to play more martial things because I always like as a GM, I always gravitate towards the spellcasters because I know how fucking deadly they are.
I have yet to play a fighter. I
Fighters are
want to.
great.
I have character ideas for them. I've just never had the opportunity to play one.
Yeah, I just always gravitate towards like the wizards, just because
Yeah,
it's all
I'm-
the choice.
I am the opposite. I always gravitate to more martials. I'm not big on wizards
That's fair.
and spellcasting.
I don't like even when I've played a fighter, I went for an Eldritch Knight. I dislike the idea of not being able to cast spells. The idea that I just have no arcane versatility really bugs me.
See, I mean, to me, it's the case of like I dislike spells because it feels like an easy. What is it? Sometimes it can feel quite easy, or not. Well, like what is it? Not that it feels easy, but it's more exciting to me to have to think with the bare necessities. Like, I'm a fighter. All I've got is my sharp sword, my hands, and a brain. Like,
I mean, not if you get hit on the head with a sharp sword or some hands.
No, you don't. But I tend not to think about that.
I mean, no. There's an infinite possibility of jokes. I won't go down, but yes.
Yeah, like fighters are statistically more likely to suffer brain injuries. I do believe.
I mean, have you ever been hit on the head while wearing a plate helmet? Because I can assure you, it's. Imagine the idea of being inside a bell.
Oh yeah.
Ta-da!
I think we can surely say that we'll come back to this fight martial class versus magic class discussion.
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah, no, I have no doubt this will be another podcast at some point. Like, I'm happy for this just to be a ramble about D&D.
Oh, we could easily argue for 4 straight hours about how much we like magic versus not liking magic.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Like, I get what you mean. The whole bare bones approach.
Hmm. Yeah, I enjoy that a lot more. But yeah,
because I will admit there are some that's playing Wizard. I'm like, aha! Well, fuck. Okay, I've cast a spell. I missed. That's me done for the turn. I'm gonna sit at the back here. No, I can't stab them with a knife. Well, no, theoretically I can, yes, but if I get that close, I'm probably dead.
Yeah, you can stab them with the knife, but if they stab you with their knife, it's gonna hurt a lot more.
I cast shield. Oh wait, I only have 2 spell slots. We're level 1.
You won't need that.
No, I mean, yeah, no, it's interesting. Everybody's got their own sort of niche of like.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think everybody's got like that one class where they could just live off that class for the rest of time.
Yeah. I don't know if I could live off wizards though. Like, I enjoy wizards, but the subclasses don't seem to make a great deal of difference because wizards' versatility is all in their spells. I don't know. I'm actually one of the few people who really. I have to branch out and try and play damage dealing at some point because I continually, from like a GM standpoint, I know how important support is, so I always play support because no one else seems to want to play it. I'm always quite happy playing the support person. When a party of 4, I'm quite happy being the cleric.
Yeah, I get you.
Have you ever seen Firestorm?
I don't know. I don't like. I'm quite happy to support. Like no, I do find it fun supporting. I just what is it? I dislike. I don't know. It always feels awkward with supports though because it usually ends up being somebody gets forced into it, which just always feels weird. But I don't mind doing it.
Yeah, I'm saying like That's basically the role like my LARP character at Empire plays. Like he's a frontline fighter, but all his points and skills are towards being a supporting person. Go on.
I was just gonna say power of friendship.
Yes.
Is better than other powers.
Yeah, I do feel we might be neglecting our third member for today on this rotating cast or whatever the fuck we are. I don't know.
Yeah, I do feel like we have discussed what my tragic backstory to enough, and we can go on to our lovely Otis.
Oh man, you guys shouldn't have. Really, you shouldn't have. What is wrong with you?
I mean, quite a lot.
I mean, if you hate talking that much, I could go on for another hour.
Oh, I know you can. I mean, I've got stories.
Yes.
So, yeah,
I seen things you wouldn't believe, man.
Oh yes, proliferate his own guys. Yeah, well, my name's Otis.
Really?
I'm a nerd, just like these beautiful people. I don't know what else there is to say for me.
You have marvelous hair.
True, except not.
You do have exceptional hair.
Except it was cut like yesterday, so.
What?
I'm sorry.
That sounds.
It got
that
cut.
Is heresy. What?
Yep, I cut the hair. Got to be cut.
Oh no, I'm sorry, Tao.
Point is, I'm a tall nerd, and I also play the Dungeons and Dragons game. How, I hear you ask, little Timmy? Well, are we sitting comfortably, children? Because it's a long story. Actually, it's not. Uh, so basically, as of how I got into it, I know my dad played Dungeons and Dragons when he was younger. Often
Yes.
He told me that while a lesson was sometimes happening.
Oh my god, that sounds awesome.
Like secretly just like pass pieces of paper backwards and forwards and like roll dice underneath his desk. So that
Wow.
was interesting. But yeah,
He is
he
one
told me
of the
about it for a while.
the OG nerds.
Mm.
Or in
He
your case,
played
an
it for
okay
a long-
nerd, but
He
no.
told me about him playing it for a long time, but I never actually tried to get into it. But yeah, until I one day discovered that the YouTuber Pro Jared, he started doing something in, I think it was 2014, called D&D December, which is basically in December. He normally does like video game reviews, but in the month of December, he would review Dungeons and Dragons type things instead. And regardless of what you think of that guy now, I've got those videos really helped me to in an interest in the game, and it eventually led me to looking out for people to play it in my sixth form. We had a tabletop games club which ran on Monday lunchtimes. Beautiful place, beautiful people. And I remember in my first year, they said they were running a D&D campaign, but I didn't know what the game was, didn't try to get into it. But after that, I decided in my second year, where I was president of that society, there was a bunch of people who were like, hey, we want to play D&D. And I was like, cool. We're going to make a group of people who are interested in this, and you guys organize it, because I don't know how to play it.
I'm in charge, but I have no clue what I'm doing.
I mean, we literally just played like other tabletop games, like Munchkin.
Yes.
There's a lot of
Oh god, I love Munchkin.
zombie. Munchkin, zombie. It was like this zombie one with tiles that you build the map around, and anyway. But yeah. So yeah, I got gathered a group of people together to set up, and eventually I was like, you know what? I'm interested. Let's just give it a go. So yeah, it's not as grandiose as most others, but that was basically how the first experience was through that society. They split into two groups for two campaigns. I joined one of them, and I joined one of them, and that campaign ended up not running because the GM was kept on cancelling sessions due to illnesses. But I was good friends with the other GM, and when they were making characters, I accidentally ran into them making their characters, and they were like, Otis, you want to join us? Sure, why not?
I see no harm that can come of this at all. So No, go on.
But yeah, basically, like for that year of sixth form, so this was age 17 and 18. Every Monday lunchtime, every Tuesday lunchtime, we would go to the tabletop game shop, which was right next to the sixth form. Beautiful place. Rest in peace, Inner Sanctum Collectibles.
We're not sponsored by them either.
They've gone out of business now, unfortunately. So
we're not sponsoring them.
This was like a year. Oh, they closed down over a few years ago. But yeah, we go there, play Dungeons and Dragons there during lunchtime for 1 hour, and then have to run back to lessons.
Sounds about right.
Wow.
Yeah. That character. The campaign was Horde of the Dragon Queen. We made it very few amount of sessions in. Got up to like level 3, and then it stopped because I was leaving the sixth form, and people got to move on. But yeah, that was my first exposure to D&D, and it was a fun campaign, a bit bonkers. I've got some stories from that, but which won't go into detail yet. But yeah, that just exposed me to it. And as soon as I moved to university, I was like, cool, I want to play more D&D. Where's the group of people I play it at? And it's like, society.
Yeah, and now you're the president of the society. Well, we're not sure if
What
it's
was
you or your hair, or the, you know.
What? Personal
It was a
theory.
weird experience.
Personal theory. The hair goes into his brain.
It's like
and
that
controls
episode of The Simpsons.
Oh yeah.
It's a really weird experience. I mean, when I was going around the Freshers Fair at uni trying to find the Dungeons and Dragons Society, I realised there wasn't one, but there was the LARP Society, and I was like, oh, this looks like the closest thing. And then they said they did D&D. I was like, oh, thank goodness.
You found your people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I definitely played it a lot more since joining uni, because when I played it beforehand, that I literally just played it during that one lunchtime for an hour each week.
Yeah, we played.
Return time.
Obviously, I had the games when I was like in year 11 and never started off. Then I GM'd a few, but then when I eventually got down with a solid group, we played varying Saturdays and Sundays, mostly Sundays, at 3 p.m. We'd start at 3 p.m. and we'd play till like 10 or 11. In someone's shed in their back garden.
Nice.
Nice.
I cannot get a good draw.
Actually, also, just like one other thing, which was I'd say was really important. So, like I said, Pro Jared introduced it to me through his D&D December videos. But most D&D players start off from watching Critical Role, I was too busy watching Dice Camera Action on the D&D YouTube channel, which had Pro Jared, Nathan Sharp, Holly Conrad, and Anna Prosser. And I watched no other podcasts. That was the only one, the only D&D one that took my interest. I saw,
That's fair.
and of course I watched more at twice speed because I was obsessed with doing it back then.
Yeah, I don't get people who do that. They're like, if you want to get through it quickly, watch it at double speed. I'm like, but I want to enjoy it.
I've heard that, but I don't know. Maybe I think my brain's just too small. But I can't. Too fast, too quick. Can't keep up.
That's probably for the best. But you do it. It was just something I did back in the day, which started from something at uni. Not at uni. Secondary school, and I just became obsessed with doing it on all my videos.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
This is where the love of Sonic comes from.
Oh my god.
No, Sonic Colors did that. Sonic Colors.
I was about to say you wanted to be the very best, then I realised that was Pokemon.
Is that Pokemon you were just quoting right now?
That's Pokemon.
Yeah, I know.
Sonic. The real
Look,
one.
I'm not a Nintendo. I'm not a Nintendo kid. I'm not a Nintendo kid.
You a Nintendo kid? My god.
No. We had like a Nintendo Wii and we played Wii Sports, but I never like played any Pokemon or Mario or anything like that.
If I knew anything about Destiny, I would try and trigger you so much right now by saying Destiny things which just don't fit, which are just objectively.
Man, I love it when the Traveler uses its Kamehameha to kill the Hivies.
So my brain is on D&D, and for a sec I thought you were talking about Critical Role.
Now we're talking about the main character from Destiny, Master Chief.
Fuck off.
I hate it.
That was my experience with D&D, and that's how I got into the madness of what you see now. And I've been playing it for 5 years.
Yeah. Oh my god. You can play longer than me.
That is like the most clean and like good story.
You see, the thing is, Otis had enough time to write stuff down while we were bumbling around.
That probably is it.
Oh, I didn't write stuff down. I just improv. I just knew what I was talking about.
You are the improv master, as it turns out. Meanwhile, I just think of things to say 0.2 seconds before I say them.
That's sometimes the best thing.
Sometimes. I don't know.
I mean, you're right, Nathan.
Huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's Nathan. It wouldn't be Nathan if you thought about it.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm currently the highest quoted person in the society.
Oh boy, you are. Some of those quotes are not repeatable live on Twitch.
No, they are not. Dear God, they are not.
Oh, I've got a plan for those at the end of the year.
Oh my
Are we just
God.
gonna have a yearbook, but it's just quotes for Nathan?
No, but we don't know who said the quote. We don't bother putting the names.
I know.
Yeah,
We
no,
just give the book to Nathan because we know he said most of them.
I know a couple that I definitely said that were like absolutely terrible. Yeah, a lot of the sexual ones happen to me as well, which is weird. Oh God.
On that note,
On that note, back to D&D or whatever we're doing.
do people want to? We've been going at this for like an hour and a half right now.
Have we? Yeah,
Yeah,
God,
no,
since
we
that
can go
time.
30.
Wow.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I'm.
You can tell we've never done this before and haven't actually planned. We just turned up at 4 o'clock, worked out we all had Audacity, and I said I'm gonna stream it, and we started talking.
Yeah.
There has been
Doing it
zero
live,
planning.
baby.
I mean, if people think we can get through the next section we had originally planned without many detours.
Wait, I thought we'd already talked about our first characters, or have we not?
Oh.
I
No,
talked
we
about mine.
haven't actually.
Did you?
Yeah, yours
I
was the
talked very
Gnome
briefly.
Artificer, wasn't it?
No, that was the first one I got to play in what I thought would be a long-standing game. The first character concept I ever came up with was an arcane trickster rogue called Mana no Mano. That was like the first character concept I ever generated in my head, and he was going to be like a Robin Hood, and he was going to be great and cast all these spells. And I didn't understand why the book said I couldn't cast anything that wasn't outside illusion, or what's the other one rogues have? Arcane trickster. They have illusion and
I cannot remember.
Don't know.
Yeah, I'm not smart enough to have that in memory.
maybe it's transmutation.
I don't play budget casters. It's
No,
either
like-
full or none.
It was like I don't understand these rules. I'm just gonna break them and cast like a magic missile because I didn't understand how rogue combat worked. And I was like, wait, I only got one attack. That's really terrible. But I'm a rogue. I want to stab people loads. It's like he was at least he wasn't entirely a pizza cutter. He was a bit of a pizza cutter. I'll give him that. But like he wasn't too edgy, but he also had no point. There was like
You have a backstory?
no.
Oh,
Oh
please
yeah,
tell
no,
me
he
was
did. I was one of those people who came up with like a 20-page backstory.
Okay,
What his
please-
parents said.
Yeah, please tell me his parents were dead and he was an urchin on the street and he had to steal to survive.
Actually, no.
God damn it.
No. I
Damn
managed to
it.
not do that. He was a high elf who'd been cast out from high elvenness because he was kept stealing things.
God damn it.
Oh, an
Every-
elf rogue. I never heard that before.
Yeah, it's actually true. Like a pure elf.
Yeah,
That's
it's amazing.
quite-
It was a high elf. It's amazing how many people. It's because I got magic. I got magic from it, so I thought magic was amazing and cool. Like it's amazing how many people come up with the same fucking character, despite the fact that everyone thinks they're the person who's come up with it, with no prior communication. Like it's not as soon as you hear the words D&D, or maybe it is. Maybe as soon as you hear the words D&D, like a mind flayer is like this will be your first character. It will be an edgy rogue. Because
No,
everyone makes an edgy rogue.
No, we
Or a
all
horny
know-
bard.
No, everybody knows the legend of Sam Riegel and how he alters your mind to force you to play the stereotype of your class. And if you don't, he sneaks into your window and throws pool noodles at you.
Matt Mercer.
Oh, that's Matt Mercer. God damn, I thought it was... Which one's... Oh, fuck. Which one's Sam Riegel?
Sam Riegel's one of the
is,
players.
God damn it.
He
Oh,
played
this
the
is-
wonderful Scanlan Shorthold, who was indeed a horny bard.
This is why I need to fucking watch that show.
He was a
already.
horny bard with counterspell.
Yeah, I need to hurry up and actually watch Critical Role sometime so I can get in with the whatever the hell it is.
You know, like Sam. I
I
remember,
haven't-
like, I listened to an interview with Sam Riegel, and he's like, someone was like, why did you play a bard? What made you choose bard? He's like, I asked Matt what the like most underpowered thing was, and went, I'll play that. And basically, as he started doing it, he worked out that like everyone thought he was playing a shitty thing. And he's like, I'm gonna set out to prove you all wrong. And oh boy, he
Really?
did.
I find that funny. Matt Mercer said bards were the most underpowered
I
class.
think
indeed.
I think bards have received a lot of like subclasses that are slightly better, because especially like when it comes to Player's Handbook, there are 2 bard subclasses.
True, but they are still like I'd still call them pretty good because they
Yeah.
get by default they get like all of
Oh
their
yeah,
skill.
that's a good point. Taliesin points out they did start in Pathfinder,
Oh, that is a good point.
not D&D.
Yeah, that's a good point. I can't comment on how good they are in Pathfinder, but I think they're amazing in
So I've got
I think they're amazing in 5th edition.
Oh, I do enjoy playing a bard, but that's just because of like the spell choices and the sort of stuff you can do, the flavouring. The fact I get to be high charisma means I get to like talk and roleplay more without fucking it up. And
That's
also
the
like
best
that's the reason why lore bards are so good, is they get their extra magical secrets and they can have counterspell and you can just stop people attacking you and your friend. Like lore bards are amazing.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't played a lore bard before.
I highly recommend it.
I
played a bard once during a one shot, and I played an edgy bard because I purposely was like, I want to play. I don't want to play that kind of high charisma one. I want to be edgy. I want to be I want to be a rogue in bard form. But
oh, so
one shot was alright. It didn't last long, and I didn't really enjoy playing it because I mean we were only level 1, and it wasn't a massively good one shot.
That's fair.
But yeah,
I-
I'll put him out again.
Yeah, I played a lore bard in like a 1-2 shot as well. But the whole idea behind it wasn't I wanted to play a bard. It's I wanted to play a character with as many proficiencies as I could get. So I played a rogue bard multiclass.
oh.
Level 1 rogue, level 4 bard. I think I was proficient in like all but 2 skills.
I am disgusted by that, but I'm gonna end up becoming that in one of our campaigns.
I very quickly switched it out later in the session to a level 5 bard, as I realised the whole rogue bard thing didn't really it wasn't working.
I mean my bard has like a +9 to stealth or whatever, and they're all about being invisible, but I need to get rogue so I can get sneak attack so I can actually get my damage numbers up.
Fair.
Yeah. Because like I don't know, I think I probably do the least damage of anybody in our game, except for the pacifist healer. But that kind of goes without saying.
Ah, yes.
It's when the pacifist cleric decides fuck it and casts like Firestorm or some shit like that.
They probably don't have Firestorm though.
Clerics
they-
prepare their spells at the beginning of every day. They can have Firestorm if they want to. Oh, you dick.
Oh yeah, true, they can. I forget clerics get to do that.
Did you know, really more public service announcements, did you know apparently you can drag spells in Roll20 and don't have to write out the entire cleric spell list by hand?
I did in fact know that. I got taught that when for that same character, the bard. I got taught how to do that by our DM.
Yeah, I discovered one of our other GMs, Emma, told me about that after I'd written out the entire cleric spell list for levels 1 and 2 for my cleric.
God. Yeah.
I
That
have
is,
many regrets. I think it cost me several hours.
I would imagine so, especially if you're taking into account the other source books. God.
Yep.
So what about you, Nathan? What was your first character?
Would you be surprised to hear it was a human fighter?
Human fighter? Never heard that combination before.
I know, I'm so unique and interesting. I'm
Now,
not
was it-
like other girls.
Was it variant or was it
It was basic.
Oh, that's fair.
Like,
Otis is being a
yeah,
better podcast host at this point.
What?
Otis is moving stuff along.
True, Otis actually has structure, unlike us idiots.
we'll decide that later.
Yeah, so yeah, it was a human fighter. I was champion because, you know, I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna lean on my strengths and I'm gonna be a big shouty smashy, and I played a big shouty smashy, and it was good
Nice.
fun.
What was it? What was his name?
God, what was his name?
Don't remember.
No, I don't remember my character's name. Some really freaking stupid. Like, it was like, it was like Azuld or something. Azult, something along that line. Yeah, they were like a what was it? I can't remember, but I was going for a sort of like like tribal warrior type thing. In retrospect, it probably would have been easier if I had just played a barbarian.
Yeah, I was about to say
Because-
that.
What?
I was about to suggest, but I was like, have you heard of Barbarian?
Yeah, well, no, I hadn't at this point.
That's fair.
Well, I mean, I probably had, but I was kind of set on the idea of like fighter because I just they
sounds
sounded
cooler.
simple.
Gee,
Yeah.
I wonder what fighters do. If only there was a word to identify.
Yeah, no. So yeah, I was a human fighter and I smashed stuff. I very much enjoy smashing stuff, and I still to this day enjoy smashing stuff.
And confirm. Very
Yes.
cool.
There's
Yes,
a joke
I
in
can
there as
confirm.
well.
Is there? Oh, there is.
I
Alright then.
It is now banned.
I
know
mean,
if it-
I think I've probably said worse stuff than I enjoy smashing. Like, if we want, I can go through the quotes channel and
Oh
find
god,
some
no!
terrible stuff.
Not live on Twitch. Not live on Twitch.
Not
Oh,
liable Twitch,
you-
don't ban.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, what weapon did your fighter have?
It would have been. I'm pretty sure it was two-handed longsword. Because
Okay.
yeah, because I don't know. They were like a tribal like fighter warrior, but I still kind of had them be a bit like knightly because I enjoy knights, and like, you know, that idea. So I still ended up giving them a sword, but they did play much like a barbarian. But you know, it was like my first character. I wasn't super wise to the ways of the D&D.
Who are you always so wise in the ways of science?
And the first time
fully get
anybody has what?
Just saying, I fully rate that. I'm really curious because, like, human fighter, you have so many different options of what weapon
Yeah.
you have.
Yeah.
I've played a human fighter. I play. Technically, I play an Eldritch Knight. I have a great sword and a maul. Yes, I know you can't wield two-handed weapons at once, but you leave your maul in your blacksmith shop, go out adventuring with your greatsword, pin someone to a tree with your greatsword, summon a maul because you're an Eldritch Knight and you can do that, and smack him in the head.
Beautiful.
What about you, Otis? What was your first ever D&D character?
Okay, so quick thing. Do you want my first ever D&D character or my first ever D&D character that I actually played?
See, I did my first ever D&D character like concept when I talked about Mana No Mana.
Okay.
Oh, I did the
So-
first one I ever played.
Fair. So the first character I ever made was for the campaign, which never actually happened.
I feel most
And I-
people's first D&D characters have a campaigns that never happen.
Yeah, but basically for that one which ended up not happening, I was a human fighter, not
Yeah.
basic human because variant rules. I don't care. New players, what?
Variant humans are so good.
Yeah, I like +1 to it. It's like +1 to everything, man. That's pretty cool. But yeah, he was a human fighter who was a noble called Laszlo. And for all of you Fire Emblem fans out there, yes, I literally just took the name of a Fire Emblem character. I was like, you'll be the character's name.
Yes, this is a man who's very much into medieval dating simulator.
Hey, it's only that for some of the games.
Otis, you yourself have called it medieval dating simulator.
I will say, I think it's for all of the games.
I have no clue what Fire Emblem is.
I made so he was an. I gave him a bit of the backstory I gave him was that he was a noble who was spending lots of money on drinks and just spent whatever money he had, and so he was disappointing his family. So he had to go adventuring to, try and do something with his life. And he'd been cast out of a noble family because I was a new D&D player, and I was like, hey, generic plot characters, itchy backstory-ish. Noble kicked out of his family. Let's go.
Yeah.
But never ended up playing him. Actually, no, I played him for like one session, which did happen. But then it was cancel after cancel after cancel till then they finally said, yeah, the campaign's not happening anymore, which is fair enough on them.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what the first one I ever actually played was.
The first one I ever actually played.
Yeah, I was trying to think what the first character I ever actually played was, because I have so many I've got to the stage now where I effectively have like artists' original characters just bouncing around in my head that I sort of bring out whenever it's like a one shot, or I don't particularly want to come up with something new. I want to try a new idea with this. Like, I have pre-built concepts almost. Like, I have one I made for a campaign at the beginning of the first lockdown like a year ago. I only just got to play him because I played like 1 or 2 sessions in the game and he got kicked. That game broke apart.
Okay.
The first character I actually played was a human barbarian, again normal human because so much better, called Tydra, and he had a 2-handed greatsword, which basically, again, new D&D player, I copied, ProJared gave a story about a friend of his who made a human barbarian called Tydra, and I was like, cool. I joined this campaign last minute, I needed a character idea, and I was like, this just sounds fun, I'll play one of these. And, I can go into detail about this sort of thing later, but I was really proud of, like, I didn't give him rage, I gave him heroic intent. He was like full on stereotype folk hero of like, huzzah, yes, I am the hero here.
Otis, that's every D&D character I've ever seen you play.
But it's like, yeah, whenever he would do anything, he would say huzzah, just like after he did it.
Is that his magic word? I would like to huzzah!
No, it's just like, defeat a goblin, huzzah! Save a village, huzzah! Opens a jam jar, huzzah!
Oh my god, living with that guy must be so annoying. I felt sorry for your housemates.
Oh no, this was with a group of people playing in sixth form, and I got into like level 3 and picked Totem Warrior Bear because hey, that sounded cool, and I didn't know how broken it was when I was that age.
When I was a wee lad, we didn't understand how broken bear totem warriors were.
But he just taught me how to have fun playing.
That's
how much
fair.
fun it can be, and I was so happy. Like in a one shot I did at uni, I got to bring him back as a level 15 character for a one shot.
Oh, damn.
So
Next-
I brought him back full personality, except now he had the 8 legendary pecs of Tydra.
Next time you do the level 20 thing, you're making a huzzah class, right?
Oh god.
For reference, Taliesin in the chat says huzzah.
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 Oh no. It's spreading.
But yeah, Tydra was so fun. I'm so glad he's always like my backup. Hey, let's just have a fun character, but he's also like, but now I've played him at level 15, so I'm like, he's got to be very powerful now.
Yeah, he's powerful in your head. Like I don't know. I always like I'm the theatre nerd kid, right? I always gravitate towards the really like sad, emotionally like the characters that can provide excellent role play.
Hmm.
So I have a tendency to play like sad, depressed characters.
I think happy characters can provide really good role play as well.
Happy characters can, but I don't know how to like. It's something I've got to try and work on. I don't quite know how to do that as well. I've got to work on playing happy characters.
Like with the Tidra again during the level 15 one shot I did with him, interacting with the other players. So basically the very vague backstory I gave to him was that he fought off a bear that was attacking his village, and because
Said
of that,
huzzah.
Yeah, huzzah. And because of that, he wants to go and be a hero. He wants to go out and make a name for himself and just be a good old hero for everyone. And we were discussing I was having chats with the other players, introduce the 8 legendary pecks of Tidra, which he named all of them.
Oh, I've just got that joke. Sorry, that joke only just clicked.
Oh no! The thing is, I don't think it's what you think it was, because it's basically he flexed his muscles and pointed to each of his muscles with a different name.
Yeah, I
each
know.
name.
I only just got that.
But yeah.
Oh dear, indeed.
But yeah, but then stuff like when the one shot was being set up, basically we were going to jump through this like portal thing, as instructed by this gnome.
Huzzah.
And everyone else jumped in first, and me being me, I was like, sees the gnome, puts my hand on his shoulder. You look like you could use an adventure. Come on, let's go. Chucks him into the portal, leaps in after him.
Oh my god.
So dumb.
Like me
Like,
in
there is something to like positive characters.
yeah, there certainly
Because,
is.
You know, like when what is it? If you can get like a positive character who can bounce off of, like typically if you're playing just a positive character without a
dear.
tragic backstory or anything, usually you're a bit more of like an emotional support, and you're trying to do the best for everybody around you. You know, and if you can get that going and get it bouncing off of other players, like particularly the ones who do have the sadder backstories and sort of have that trauma, you know, like that being that support person there for everybody is quite good.
Yeah. I think it's like my internet died, Tal, that's why the stream died for a second. Like there's in the game I'm playing at the moment on Mondays with Emma, GMing, there's me and I think it's Jezza. He's playing like one of the little catfolk people from Pinterest that are like have 9 lives and are like 3 foot tall. He's playing a little catfolk bard. It's hilarious because it's hilarious and it's great because we both like I'm the depressed tiefling cleric and he's this overly happy 3 foot tall cat person, and we both have 8 intelligence. The thing is though, I know I'm dumb. The cat doesn't. So it's like we came across like an obelisk in the middle of the desert, and he's like, "This looks like a perfect sunbathing rock," and I'm like, "No, that looks like something for scrying." I touched it. Had a vision. Really hot. Shouldn't touch that. Is it? Shouldn't touch it. Okay, he touched it. Yeah, no, that's really hot. You shouldn't touch that. I touched it. Yeah, no, it's still hot. Don't touch it. The cat touches it. We both get paralyzed from short-term madness.
Moths, don't go to the light.
That'd be the funniest TPK ever, though.
I mean, I really like following the idea that so I study media, and there's a theory called media production. Don't study it.
As every uni student, I would not recommend my course.
But yeah, there's a good theory about like the 5-man band trope, and I really like this theory. That it's basically like if in like a lot of TV shows, they have the same 5 character archetypes, and if you like have these roles, stories can just naturally flow from interactions with them. You don't need to put too much thought into them; they'll just naturally occur. So the 5 roles are the leader, who is often dressed in red, the edgy one, or the lone wolf, who's blue, the heart, who is often pink, and 2 extras of the big tough guy and the smart shy person. And I've sort of noticed, like, if you have one of those archetypes in your D&D groups, you often get good them just naturally. Different for everyone. It's only a theory.
That's fine. I can certainly see that. Yeah.
Role play theory. Thanks for watching.
If you're ripping off something else, please stop. Wait, are you ripping off game theory?
What was that, Nathan?
Well, no, I was about to say, like, yeah, no, I 100% see what you mean. It's like the was it because you do see that in TV shows a lot, where it's like you see the same certain roles come up. Like, there's the reason, like, it's a stereotype role is because, like, it has that, like, flavor to it.
I mean, yeah, it's the obvious examples of, like, Teen Titans. That's the best example of that character trope. But it's often like the leader has an idea, but the lone wolf doesn't agree with the plan. Conflict arises, conflict resolves. The team disbands, and the heart tries to bring them back together. The big dumb guy can have their own story of, like, realizing that they're someone showing them they are a very caring person, and develop backstories. Just so much stuff can come up. I love it. I'm not saying you need to follow the trope. I'm just saying if you try to diversify your party a bit.
Generally, if you diversify your party, you end up with those 5 tropes.
Additionally, you could just all play, or you could just play a group of clerics called the Amen, and just,
oh my god, the throwbacks to our second. So when we joined our first session at the society, when we joined the society, like, what, 6 months ago now, our first meeting, we had a lot of people. I think it was like our highest attendance session ever. Otis welcomed us to the cult, and we set about people saying hello to people, and basically split off and planning and making these characters for one-shots, and helping people who've never played before for a one-shot the next session. Without discussing it, 6 of us made clerics.
No, we had discussed it. We had at least a couple of us had discussed it about. I think there were 5 of us. Yeah, we had discussed. All right, we're all gonna play clerics, and we're gonna play clerics of different domains. So we had what was it? I think everybody except for 2 clerics who were changeling brothers, and then the rest of us were all different.
Oh yeah, but my brother got split up when we played and was in the different session.
Yeah, I know. That's so annoying. Like, we had planned this amazing God Squad idea, and then we ended up getting split up because we didn't, like, plan who would go where.
We didn't actually voice we had plans to anyone who was in charge.
Yeah, no. So because I was like the big dumb forge cleric, we had the 2 changeling clerics, and then I think we had like a grave domain cleric, and we all thought we believed the same god. But we kept debating whose god it actually was. It's a shame that plan didn't follow through.
That was one of the first D&D characters I made where I'm just gonna have fun and not be serious. But oh boy, playing a changeling trickster cleric was quite good fun.
Oh, it sure is.
Oh, you were GMing, weren't you, Otis? You were GMing that one, I think.
Yeah,
I worked out the whole plot twist of this one shot about 10 minutes in.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think we had even got to the museum and stuff.
Well, no, so the something had been stolen, and I went, here, it's 3 kobolds in a trench coat with no prior information, and we started finding information, and all the information pointed towards it being indeed 3 kobolds in a trench coat.
Yeah, but Otis changed it. It became 4 kobolds.
Became
at the
4
end.
kobolds in a because like we found like little claw prints, bloody claw prints. The fact someone had hit their head, some tumbled bloodstains, something else crawling. Like yeah, no, this is all pointing towards 3 kobolds in a goddamn trench coat.
I bet it was 4. Bet you didn't see that coming.
I mean, the one at the top didn't.
Yeah.
Oh god, that campaign was good fun. Oh,
It was a one shot, but it was still absolutely hilarious. I still don't know quite how the other group ended up with a centaur breaking a chariot outside the town at 3 a.m. 3 a.m. not in game, 3 a.m. real time.
Yeah, I love how like the other team, because we had split into 2 teams. The other team went on for like an hour longer than us.
It went on for more than
because
just an
they
hour.
What?
It went on for longer than just an hour.
Well, I can't remember the exacts, but still, like it was. They went on for way longer because they didn't figure it out. So like they were still trying to work out what was going on, while we had already solved it and like found the guy.
And arrested him.
Yeah. Did we arrest him or did we kill him?
I think both.
Why not both?
I can't remember.
I think
remember...
we arrested him because I charmed the captain of the town guard.
Yeah, I remember we persuaded the guards he was leading to that he was the one who had stolen the crown.
Sounds about right.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I
God.
need to dash off.
Yeah, I think no, I think because you had said you need to go about 6, and it's we've been doing this now for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, we have a good hour and a half of random stuff.
Yeah, I think
editing that down.
Bo, how bold of you to assume I'll edit this. It's been streamed. The internet has seen it in its purest form as it is. I think what we'll do then is we will end off here. It has been lovely talking to you all. I hope our dear viewers have enjoyed, and hopefully there'll be another one of these at some point in the future. Because I would very much enjoy to record another one of these, be it with you, be it with a rotated cast.
Yeah, I have no idea. As with everything else, this has not been thoroughly planned.
No, this wasn't planned, but this was we discussed on Tuesday that we should probably do it, and I messaged the group yesterday going, so how does 4 p.m. sound?
Yeah, like the only thing we had discussed was we would talk about how we got into D&D.
Yeah.
And that was kind of it.
We'll think of stuff.
Sure we will.
Yeah, if we I don't know, if we all end up being on another one together, I imagine we'll probably have an idea, maybe potentially, no promises.
Wait, ideas? They sound. Tal's just said planning's overrated. I agree. Planning's overrated and ideas are dangerous.
No, do not plan your goddamn D&D sessions.
I mean, do plan your D&D sessions. That's true.
Yes. Why plan King of Chaos? Oh god.
Cool.
Oh no, I'm getting pinged.
Yeah. Well, I think with the magic game over and all the conversation over as well, I think that is a perfect point to end it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how the void feeds upon
Yeah.
chaos. I agree. I think thank you everyone for coming along. Thank you to my 2 wonderful fellow cast members. It was lovely speaking to you, as I said.
You random citizen.
Oh god.
I love how you call him a random citizen despite the fact he's on the committee with you. You have known each other 6 months and you're on the committee.
Assert dominance.
That's what the hair was for.
The true president.
Alright.
Anyway, yeah. I think let's actually stop this. Thank you for watching.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll speak to you again soon.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Thank you.